This is Trans Nations Esports F1 category. Joining with me here in the comm box, actually having a drive as well, is Harry. Good morning, Harry.
Good morning. Good morning.
And we will have Joe Roberts, joining us in the comm box as well. He's just gone to get a drink. So Harry's having a race. Gonna try his hand at the F1 tier. So hopefully we don't get any swearing from the young sir himself in the comm box. But otherwise, anything shall be possible. So we're ready to go. It sounds like Joe's back, so good evening to you,
Yep.
Joe. So, I'll get your thoughts on the Azerbaijan circuit there, Harry, before you go into a cockpit, mate. What's your thoughts on the track itself?
Yeah, I'm confident with my pace around Baku, actually. It's probably surprisingly one of my stronger kind of track. Very difficult. And the reason it's difficult is, unlike a track like Monaco, where you run high wing angles, there's actually, of course, probably one of the longest straights on the calendar, which means you have to run lower wing angles. And in exchange for lower wing angles, you're kind of taking away your cornering ability, and most of the track is corners. So it's a bit of a difficult track to kind of get a grip on whether you want more downforce or whether you want more straight line speed. And on a track like this, it's straight line speed that you need.
So we'll leave it there with you, Harry. You will stay in the comm box, so just remember that if you do make a little incident or anything.
Well done, mate.
But yeah, so we'll let Joe take over your spot until you're ready to hop out of the car or do whatever. So,
Yep.
Joe, I'll get your thoughts on the Azerbaijan circuit as we load in and just wait for a couple of cars to come out on track.
My opinion on Azerbaijan, I don't really like it as a track. It's good for I know it's good for like racing, because of the races that have been previous at Trans Nation, but it's one of those tracks where you have to go low wing, so you can get the speed from the massive straight, and then it's then just hanging in when the corners. Just hanging in there when the driver's going through the corner. But yeah, it's one of those tracks that come at you through the middle sector and the first one, and then the long straight just gives a bit of respite to the track.
Yeah, so my opinion, is much like the other twos. It feels rewarding when you get a lap right and nail all the corners, but even knowing you're running very little downforce, like it's near on a Spa sort of setup, very soft suspension, but the corners are pretty slow anyway. Like most of them are like 90-degree right-handers or left-handers. Sorry. So, you know, as much as there are long straights and you're running little wings, all the corners are pretty tight and turny, so it doesn't feel too bad. As we're on board with Mackenzie just doing his warm-up lap, and he's got, I think it's Josh Banks right behind him. So, Joe, I don't know if you've been keeping up with the F1 races throughout the season, but have you got any early predictions that you want to throw out there for qualifying this weekend?
There's a lot of... That's the good thing with F1. I have had a look at it when commentating F4. There's a lot of quick drivers, so I would probably go with Tyler.
Yep.
And in the Ferrari.
Yep. And just to, we've had We've got Amar Singh is a reserve driver in the Haas today. So he is reserving for whoever he's reserving for, I can't currently remember. And Harry in the other Racing Point reserving for Tower, since he's just had knee surgery. And another big talking point is Andrew Lee in the Red Bull has gone to his steering wheel and his racing seat combo now, so he's still very much on the pace, but maybe not as quick as what he was on the pad. So that'll be interesting to watch. And Aaron in the other Racing Point has joined us, I think only for his second race this season in Trans Nation, so he races with a lot of the guys in other leagues, so and he's got pace, so watch out for them couple of guys come through. And but at the moment everyone's only got a couple of people left in pits. Of Addy Bettenbauer still in pits and Philip in the McLaren, but I do think Mackenzie will still be the first across the line to set a flyer, as he's just gone purple in sector 2, as you'd expect being the first one. He's got Josh right behind him on the soft compound tyre. So two different strategies here from the two different New Zealanders. So Mackenzie comes across the line to do a 1:41. Richard does a 39.2 on softs. Jacob Todd does a 38.8 on soft. Josh Bank right behind Mackenzie. That was Richard right behind Mackenzie. So
I'm about to go on my hot lap.
Harry's about to start a hot lap. We'll jump on board. Joe, we'll get you to do a flying lap if you don't mind, sir, as we watch Harry coming through the back straight.
So yeah, going this long, very long back straight, probably the way of overtaking around Baku. Going into the braking zone.
He's invalidated already.
Did that in my qualifying session as well.
Yeah, I noticed when I noticed.
So we'll abort that hot lap and we'll jump on board. Well, we'll just wait around. So at the moment, Mackenzie's P10, Amar Singh P9 with a 41.1 on the softs, Robin Kreft with a 41.1 on the hards, Andrew a 40.9 on the hards, Kush 40.6, Sanders with a 40.5, Tyler with a... Aaron's actually retired. Where's that?
I think it's in pit. No, wait. No, it's Castle, I think.
Harry's coming through the castle now.
Nothing here.
It is on that straight.
Yeah, that's... I can't... Yeah, that's weird. So... Andrew just does a 40 flat on the hards on his second lap. Albert's doing a 40 flat on the mediums. You got Tyler Beasley doing a 39.3 on the hards. So that's already quicker than the F5 times on softs. Just to show you how quick these guys are. Richard's done a 39.2 on softs. Jacob's done a 38.8 on the softs, and Josh Banks provisional pole with a 37.8. So
I'm validated again.
I think that's near his time trial time as well. Josh Banks' time.
Okay, yep. So that's pretty good if you can keep in touch with your with your time trial time. And I do remember Harry stating, I think it was Australia, someone pulling out a blistering lap, like time trial setup times. So, still waiting for Aaron's going to be starting at the back of the field without setting a lap. Manuel's just coming across the line with a 42.2 in the Haas. So he's getting out qualified by his teammate. Everyone's saying good luck to a few of their mates, people watching streams. Tyler said it's all dry, so it's a dry weekend. Even with Harry being in a car, he still couldn't tell us that, so that's very good work there from Tyler. At least someone gives the Combox some information.
Get stuffed.
So can Harry do and get a perfect lap this time?
After 2 invalidations.
His medium tyres will be starting to go off now. So coming into turn 1, hard on the brakes. He's just kept it inside that racing line. Turn 2, he's a bit wide. That's going to cost him a couple of tenths. He's coming up now the second DRS straight. You can technically overtake into 3, but it's a very tight turn, so 3, 4 over the ripple strip. You don't want to hit him because it will throw you. Coming into the end of sector 1 there, 5 and 6, long left hander, quick right, and then you come up to the infamous castle section. Really cut that corner, and you can do it. Coming up the castle now, one of the hardest corners on the calendar, only second to anything at Monaco. Any one of the 18 corners that they've got. Coming into the end of sector 2 now, down this straight, you can cut that corner up there at the top of the hill quite significantly, as I saw from Andrew throughout the week, doing a bit of practice and not getting validated. But here he comes down the back main straight. Todd goes quickest now with a 37.8 to put the Renault in P1, and his other Renault's still yet to set a time. Harry goes to P8 on 3-lap old medium, so great lap there from Harry. Harry, while you have a cool down lap, mate, how did that feel in the car?
Felt pretty good, to be honest, considering the mediums are a couple laps old. On the laps that I didn't validate, I went super slow to try and preserve the tyres, but surprisingly felt not too bad. And of course that slight mistake at turn 2, catching a bit too much curb and going to the bit too close to the wall, lost me a couple of tenths. But other than that, could go a bit faster in my F3 qualifying. I set a 39.8 on mediums, I believe. So a couple of tenths off, but
yep. Which is what we saw there at turn 2. So I reckon that's about your only spot that you're really.
The question is, do I go on softs now?
Well, Sebastian Spicer has actually just moved himself up to P3. So you got Renault starting right behind each other at the moment. Oh, sorry, Josh Banks has just changed all that. Bailey's changed that again, so now the Renaults are starting side by side. So Bailey with I think I had Robin in the combox as Albert gets out of Bailey's way there last season, round 4. Just a bit of an insight to the viewers that didn't see that race. Bailey Ford was leading the race trying to do the one-stop, softs to hards. Lap 7 on his in-lap, got a puncture at turn 3 and it cost him the race. So again, he's going with that strategy by the look of it. With the top 6 going all that strategy. Actually, Tyler Beasley's the first one to be on an alternative strategy. He's just now pumped him up to the 6th spot. So yeah, that's interesting there. Joe, you got anything you want to add?
Yeah, I saw. I was on board with Albert, and he gave Bailey a pretty good tow. So yeah, it's be interesting.
Do you reckon it was worth 2.5 tenths? Because that's effectively what he's got over Josh at the moment.
I would say yes. I would say yes, because you'll be able to get the top end speed a lot quicker. But it'd be interesting if Bailey does it to Albert.
Yeah, I don't know if they're quite working, as Andrew goes P3 now with a 37.8 and he's on the soft tyre as well, so we could have a very interesting race. I was just about to mention Andrew being down in the top of the bottom 10, and this is the second biggest attendance of the season with 19 drivers. Obviously at Australia we had the full 20, but anything really catching your eye there, Joe, that you're surprised at, whether it be someone at the bottom, at the back of the pack you thought might have been a bit up higher, or?
I thought Mackenzie would have been a lot higher up there, considering I would thought it would be in the 37s, but yeah, it's probably Mackenzie.
Well, Mackenzie has just come out of the combat, so he hasn't. So has Josh and Bailey. Who else? Harry's just had a race, so Harry would be probably the warmest of the guys, knowing he's just done a 45-minute stint around here and now he's going again. But yeah, Mackenzie was in the combat for us this morning for the first couple of races, so he hasn't yet to do a practice this morning. So he was saying this is effectively his practice, as Andrew's out of fuel coming down the back straight, staying out of everybody's way, so it's good track knowledge. Bailey comes out now with 2 and a bit minutes to go. What are we going to see here for the final bit of qualifying, Joe?
As Warren hits the, I think I don't think the pole is set yet. I think somebody might beat Bailey's time. But yeah, it depends. I do think the giving slipstream did help Bailey gain extra time on Josh and Andrew, so it'd be interesting, because I don't know if Josh teammate or Andrew's teammate would give him slipstream.
Well, funny you say that actually, Giles. It sounds like you're in a windstorm, but you've got Toddy and Sebastian. Sebastian giving Jacob, or is it Jacob giving Sebastian slipstream? No, it is Sebastian in front. So Jacob's just fallen a little bit further back as they start their hot laps. But if Jacob's quick enough, he could catch up, and maybe he's only 2/100ths of a second off of Andrew. So you know, there's only 7 tenths between the top 5. So if either of them could find a bit of time, give each other, or Sebastian give Jacob a bit of slipstream, could see Renault up the top here. Because Oh, the two McLarens are... Josh is invalidated. And Bailey is in front of Albert. So... Albert might be getting a bit of a... I think he's just a bit too far back at the moment. Bailey won't know that Josh is invalidated, so... As Harry jumps up to P10, that's good qualifying there from Harry. So, Cush in the Toro Rosso done a good lap, 38.3 on the softs. Robin's now retired, that's at turn 1. So we'll watch Sebastian come across the line. I don't think he's going to improve 5, 6, 7, 37.7, so he does actually improve. Can Jacob do anything? 37.8, so Jacob doesn't improve, but Sebastian did. So Sebastian up to P3. He could be the dark horse here for a podium paying position. Now with this new safety car patch that Codemasters have done, we've seen a pretty clean qualifying so far, Joe, but do you think we're going to see a safety car throughout this race?
I won't be surprised. In our free race, I think Harry probably can confirm, but we had like, I think 1 virtual and 2 safety cars.
That's right, yeah.
Now F5 we had the 3 safety cars and 2 virtual, so we pretty much used everything they had in their bank. But here comes Tyler now across the line. What can he do? Puts himself to P2 with a 37.3. So
out using slipstream as well.
Yeah, Josh is coming across the line now. Oh no, he's pulled out of this lap. So he'll just be boxing. So who is that into the fence? Jacob Todd.
Oh my god. Go on, Sebastian.
They are now stopped on castle section.
Okay. There's a... Bailey's involved in that as well. Okay, that's a bit interesting.
I know
There's more
from...
cars
I
just... Yep.
Yeah, I know from well, it hasn't happened here, from some league races it invalidates the previous laps of it. Hasn't done that, so it's not really relevant.
Okay, so we got Bailey forward over Tyler by 1/10 of a second. Josh is 2/10 behind. Sebastian's 4/10. Andrew 5/10. Jacob 5/10. Mackenzie's 8/10. Albert's 9/10. Harry down in P11. The first of the free tyre choice, I should say. So now, Joe, will you be right with our formation lap grid walkthrough, mate?
I know most of them. There's some of them I don't know, but I know most of them.
Yeah. Even if you've got to use a username, mate, it's probably the best way to do it. That way people know who we're doing. So now, the one thing I find in the F5 guys anyway, we've got a couple of people that take the formation lap as a race lap, and they want to be out front and bolt away, and then they sit on the grid and just their tyres get cold again. It's like invalidation of the formation lap, right? But all these guys are pretty smart. They'll all stay in their normal positions and keep the tyres warm, but it is up to Bailey technically to lead the field away. So I'll throw it over to you, Joe, and we'll get this race underway.
P1 we have Bailey forward, I think, and then in P2 in the Ferrari we have Tyler. P3 we have Josh Banks. P4 we have Sebastian Spicer. In P5 we have Andrew. In P6 in the Renault we have Jacob. P7 in the Alfa Romeo we have Mackenzie Stewart. And then in P8 Albert Ramirez. In P9 Kush, don't know his surname. P10 Philip. In P11 in the Racing Point we have Harry. In P12 we have Addy. P13 RC7. And then P14 we have Sam Saladin. P15 A Singh.
Amar
Singh. In P6 we have Robin in the McLaren, and then P7 not P7, P17 we have D, and then P8 and P18 we have Aaron, and oh man, I'm screwing this off. P19 we have King You probably go through the names that I haven't actually got correct, but
yeah. So you got most of the field. Big talking point, Addy down at the further back than what he would want to be. He's usually up there with his teammate, but it just goes to show how tight this qualifying is, as Harry's getting out of the way of someone there by the look of it. It just goes to show how tight this qualifying session is, and how close the field is. So there's a bit of contact there as the AI take over. Oh no, Addy's been reset the grid. So can we get
does that reset the temperature of the tyres?
I think it does, yes. So who do you actually collide with? It was Haas, I think.
Yeah, but the Haas is miles away from you.
I can't. No one else is not on the. Well, everyone else is still driving according to Livestream.
Oh.
So, as Ken just jumps on the line now, we jump the Bailey forward. Beautiful camera view here. When the lights start to build, we'll get underway, ladies and gentlemen. 3, 4, 5 red lights, and away we go for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Bailey gets a beautiful start. Tyler's lost a bit of ground. Josh is on his outside. What can Josh do? No, Tyler's kept the position. Andrew's already jumped. Jacob, no, Josh has lost out now to Andrew. There's a bit of contact further down there at the back of the field. Who was that? Sebastian's had a terrible start. He's down now to P10. So we'll quickly run you through the top. Quickly run you through the whole field. Got Bailey Ford with Tyler Beasley right up his gearbox now. You've got yellow flags. Robin's already out of the race. Where has that happened into turn 3? Virtual safety car already within 4 corners of the race. So we got Bailey Ford over Tyler Beasley, over Andrew Lee for the top 3. Josh Banks in 4th, Jacob Todd in P5, Mackenzie Stewart P6, Izzet Kush in P7, Philip P8, Addy P9. That's a great start there from Addy to jump up a couple of spots. Sebastian Spicer down there in P10. He'll be disappointed with that start. He did say, I think it was last weekend when he was on the Combox, that he's worked on his starts recently and felt pretty good. Harry in P11 kept his position. Sanders at P12. Aaron's up to P13 after that DNF in qualifying and starting second last. Manuela up to P14. Richard P15. Amar Singh 16th. Ken Doyle is 17th. He's made one position as he's just lost a bit of wing. Well, someone's lost a bit of wing. I think that's Amar. As Albert now dives up the inside of Ken there to take P16. So now Ken's back to 17 and Amar's in 18th. So we'll go back to the front of the field now, all following each other. Bailey at the front of the field, leading off the two championship rivals of Tyler and Andrew. Is this Bailey's turnaround point of the season? Josh Banks in P4. Manuela's actually retired his car. And that is... must have been in the pit lane. But Richard's come in now for a new front wing on the Williams. So this is a tasty battle up the front. We've got a 4-car train here. Tyler's right up the back of Bailey here. Tyler's having a bit of a look into the start of the castle section. Not a spot you go too wide. Manuela's now left the session. So Bailey climbs the hill for the first racing lap. Tyler's just lost a bit of ground there. Andrew's brought up his gearbox now. But Andrew can't hang around and wait either because he's got Josh Banks up his gearbox. And they're inviting Jacob Todd to come further into this as well. So we're soon to have a 5-car train for the lead. And if Mackenzie can catch up, he'll have a 6-car train for P1. So Bailey Ford is trying to pull a bit of a gap here on Tyler. He's got down to half a tenth, but this massive back straight when DRS gets activated will just help everyone catch back up. If you're not out of slipstream, you really can't do anything. Tyler does the quickest lap, Jacob does the quickest lap at a 43.004. So as Harry's still holding P11, the first on the medium compound tyres, so you can at least hold his head up high there. Now Tyler's got DRS on Bailey, Andrew's got DRS on Tyler, so there will be no change here, but there is a move further at the back. Josh had to defend there from Jacob, costing himself just a little bit of time onto the guys in front. And this bit of battling will invite Mackenzie back to it. And Cush himself as well isn't doing too bad there in the Toro Rosso, holding up the Toro Rosso flag for us guys in the Toro Rosso family. So a bit of a chaos start there, Joe. Anything you quickly want to add, mate?
As apart, it was a pretty clean start considering there wasn't any it was a virtual but not a full safety car. But as in the top 10 is only covered by. It's not covered by a huge, I think 6 seconds. Yeah,
5.8 so, currently.
Yeah, so you could have a 10-way battle for the lead if you do count undercuts or whatever it is. And then you've got the mediums behind them. So it's been interesting what drivers are going to do as.
Phil's actually already in. Sorry to cut you off there, Joe. Phil's in the McLaren. So what's he doing? He's going on to a sort of medium. Oh, he's had to change a front wing. So set of mediums. He'll be in for one more stop after this. But very tasty battle here up the front. They are running nose to tail for 5 cars deep. So if that doesn't give you an indication of how dedicated all these guys are, I don't think anything will. There on the mini-map on the right-hand side of your screen, there's barely a gap all the way back to Harry in P10, so or even Sanders P11, so it's very good battling here.
Seb's had a mistake in castle.
So, has it cost him any wing? I don't think it has. Sanders didn't quite get around, and good. Thank you for that bit of driver's review there, Harry. But we'll go back to the front. Bailey's just pulling away from Tyler now. Tyler is 9 tenths away from Bailey, so could this be Bailey's turning point very early on in the race? But Tyler now will put in, as Josh is having a look here at Andrew down the inside of turn 1. Can he make the position stick? I think he will. They've both gone a bit deep. They're still side by side in the turn 2. It's not the most ideal spot to be side by side, but they leave each other racing room. Very nicely done here. Josh has got the position done, I do believe. Andrew might have a better straight line. No, and Josh is tucked up now as Jacob just pulls out, has a bit of a look. Oh, I didn't think Jacob was going to make that turn there. Mackenzie now is on the back of Jacob. Cush has just dropped off a little bit there. I'm surprised how well Addy's caught up through the field from what was P13, I think Addy started, and now he's up to P8, so he's jumped Harry there on the one-stop strategy on the mediums, and Harry's actually got his full-time driver just behind him. Was that a accident there for Cush, or did Addy just force his way up?
Addy forces hit the back of Cush.
I've had a mistake in Castle, just like Seb, but that's caused me front wing.
Oh, so now being an invitational driver points won't matter to Harry, but I do believe they still go to constructors. So Racing for Tau at the moment, Racing Point need all the gap they can get. Now back to the front, Tyler and Bailey have just run away with it as we see Mackenzie Stewart come in the pits.
What's he put on?
What happened there? Jacob's going for a move on Andrew and made that position stick. So Andrew's lost a couple of spots there at turn 2, and he's actually got front wing damage. So Andrew now has front wing damage. Mackenzie's dropped down to P10 on the hard tyre. He'll get them home. It'll still be a bit of a push, but he will get them home. Harry's in the pits to put the hard on as well. So is Albert, Cush, Sebastian. So we're just waiting for the top 6 now to come in. But as I was just about to say, the top 2 got away from Josh just a little bit. They're 1.7 seconds up the road. So, excuse me. So Bailey at the moment did have that gap to just under a second at one stage, but Tyler's pulled it back into now 5.5 tenths. As we get a beautiful camera shot from the helicopter cam there coming through the top of the track. But yeah, so Bailey Ford is currently leading, Tyler Beasley in P2, Joshua Banks P3, Jacob Todd in P4, doing a beautiful job there for Renault, Andrew Lee in P5, and his teammate is right behind him in P6. So both of them being on the same compound tyre might cause a bit of an issue for one of them, as Andrew's actually in the pits, Bailey's in the pits. So Bailey, as Todd's only just come out in front of Andrew, and Andrew had that front wing change. So that's Mackenzie's jumped them both. So the undercut has worked an absolute treat for Mackenzie Stewart. Ken Doyle is now up into the points in P10 for the other Ferrari. He's got his teammate leading with Addy Bettenbauer. As Andrew Lee's into the fence at turn 3. Andrew Lee into the fence. That will definitely be wing damage. It's a big end plate on the right hand side of the car, so that's unfortunate for Andrew.
Front wing damage, because he went very deep into the corner there. Andrew
No, he doesn't. Well, it's not showing that he has. Both end plates are still there, so...
Yeah.
I'll throw a question to you here, Joe. Aaron, in the Racing Point, currently third position, started the race on hards. Do you think he's in the box seat now? He'll have the quickest tyres at the end of the race?
I think he's in the box seat if it there's a safety car at the right point. He's gonna come fast anyway when he decides to pit, but it would suit him if there's to win the race, if you're talking about it, if there's a safety car at the right point at the right time
at his pit window, just as he's coming into sector 3 or something, so he doesn't lose too much time. But I think this he's definitely on a podium position now. Bailey, Josh, Tyler all found their way together again, and Jacob's just fallen off that train, but he's got Mackenzie to keep him company. Oh, excuse me. As Mackenzie gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting, so that's no big surprise from Mackenzie. Harry, I know you're trying to drive, mate, but how's the track feeling down there?
It's a bit more rubbered up now, of course, so it's a bit more grip. Other than that, not much. I've had to come in early for a new front wing, and I put on the hard, so towards the end of the race I'm not going to be feeling too great, but I guess I'll just try and maybe go for a fastest lap or something like that. At the moment I'm just looking to catch up to the guys ahead of me. I think there's a Mercedes and a Toro Rosso battling up ahead, so that's my goal at the moment.
There are, mate. Yep. Alright, so Addy's coming to pits, which gives Aaron the lead of the race from Sam in the Alfa Romeo. Two different tyre compounds, probably they could both box on the same lap, really, depending on what they want to do. But it's this gap back to Bailey Ford that we want to watch, see if Aaron and Sam can pull away or keep that gap stable at least. So yeah, now the provisional top 3 of Bailey, Tyler and Josh are all nose to tail. Amar Singh in P16 is going for another front wing by the look of it, with a stop go penalty as well. Or did he just get held there for Richard coming in? Richard's got a new front wing. Sebastian's got a time penalty now, 3 seconds as well. Sanders is right on, Sam is right on the back of Aaron here, so this could bring a bit of battling on and let these other guys fighting for the actual lead close in the gap and counteract their reverse strategy. Apart from that, Jacobs lost Mackenzie, so Mackenzie might be suffering, or he might just not feel the hards are heating up as well as he'd want to. He's got Ken Doyle and Phil. Well, Phil's doing the 2-stop, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Behind him, so anything you want to add there, Joe?
During my F3 race, I did the softer hards, and the softs felt really good until like lap 6 and lap 7, and then the hards I went on the hards and they just felt awful. Didn't have like any pace on them, and then the medium guys behind ended up jumping me and my teammate who are doing the soft to hard strategy. So yeah, I can understand why Mackenzie is losing touch with the leaders.
I just saw there, I was riding on board with Josh, I think it was, and coming through the castle section there's a bit of front wing, and it's actually from Aaron's car, so he's lost the front left end plate now from his racing point. I don't know whether or not that was due contact or bit of lack of concentration, just touched the wall, but he's definitely lost out P1 now and he's in the pits, so he will go on to the mediums, and he should be okay to get them home from here. Where's he going to jump it? He's only just got onto the pit box. He's going to lose a lot of time. Sebastian's going to jump him at his cushion. Albert could even jump him as well, and they will. Even got jumped by his teammate, so that's very unfortunate. But Harry's caught up to Albert and Kush very quickly. So Harry's having a great induction race here into the F1 category. Phil's jumped Ken with slightly fresher mediums, and Sam has got 3 seconds to Bailey, Tyler and Josh, so just goes to show how quick these front three guys are. You know, Tyler being on the younger tyres compared to the other two. Is it a stretch to get the hards home there, Joe? You were just saying you did the one stop softs to hards. Is it a stretch to get the hards home?
We had safety cars, so I pitted, but I know in practice, and my teammate was telling me is that it gets to like 70% basically in the puncture range. I think you pit on lap 6 or lap 7, or no, lap 6. It gets in the range where you could potentially get a puncture from as yellow flags. Yellow
flag sector 2. That's that Amar. That is Amar. And he's got Richard just gone past him. So that's not great for another one of the reserve drivers. So you were saying the hards might be in puncture territory by the end of the race. Is that what you're leading to?
As in Mackenzie and the people that pitted on lap 6 are potentially in that range.
Ooh, okay. So Tyler could even have the upper hand because he went that 1 lap longer on the softs. As we got safe sector 3, that's Amar at the quick S's by the look. No safety car. So hopefully that doesn't cause anything here for these front runners. Sam's just coming through it now. Oh, it's right in the middle of the racing line. It is ghosted, thankfully, so none of the leaders have caught it. And now it's disappeared off the track, so Sanders is now in the pits, lap 13. He'll go to the hards from here and comfortably get them home. So any big surprises, Joe?
I'm surprised by Harry's performance. in honesty, yeah, I'm surprised by Harry's performance. Debut. Oh. Okay.
We're just watching the front three at the moment. These guys are really nose to tail I'm surprised Tyler hasn't got past and got away. Like, Tyler's been the pace of the season so far, Tyler and Andrew, so for Bailey to be quick where he needs to be quick, because it really is only that one, you know, that massive back straight, main straight that you can overtake. So everywhere else is a one line sort of racetrack. You don't want to be going side by side.
I think Ty's got to remove his 100% and some high. Yeah, it looks like he's going for it.
Yeah.
He's now on overtake, yeah.
Now on the inside, he's got the job done before DRS. So did Bailey back out of that at all? Well, Bailey's got the DRS now. So Bailey back alongside. Got the job done. And that's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. It's a bit of a cheeky move. He let Tyler have the position before the DRS detection line, so Bailey could get the DRS to get the job back. But very smart racing there by Bailey. Jacob back in P4. He's 5 seconds off of the three guys up front now, and Mackenzie's 3 seconds further back. Andrew's back in the pits. Albert's in the pits as well. So yeah, not Andrew's race that he would have been wanting. I think he had a good points gap though, being championship leader at the moment. And it just goes to show that Azerbaijan can throw anything at you. You know, we're not clear of anything at the moment. Phil, what can Phil do from here? You reckon Joe's got to make one more stop? We know this. Can you see him getting back into the top 10?
I don't know. So if he pits now to get behind, maybe in front of Harry, so he could. I think he wouldn't get like to where he is now. He'd probably, I think max he probably can get his 9th. But if a safety car happens towards the end of the race, it could bring back into the fight for the top 5.
Actually, saying that, what happened to Harry? Is he just letting these side by side at turn 1 with Ken? Very good move by Ken. Go around the outside there of Harry. Harry was fighting with Cush and Aaron there at one point. We won't talk to Harry just at the moment. He's actually battling, so but I will like to get as through then. Jacob had to pit for a new front wing, so he's back down now to P11, 6 seconds off Cush from scoring any points. So not the race that Renault would have liked after that strong qualifying performance, to go 3 and 5, I think it was. Addy in P8 still doing a great performance. Sebastian's about to take Sam, sorry. Maybe. Got a lot of ERS to play with, or is he happy just sitting behind him?
I think I'm going to retire. Jump back in the comm box.
Okay, so hopefully you do it in the pit lane, mate, so we don't cause a safety car.
Will do.
Addy's been jumped by Aaron, so and I think Sam's now going for the move on Sebastian. Oh, there's almost contact there. Coming into turn 3, so yellow flag in the pit lane. That shouldn't cause anything. Codemasters being Codemasters, so anything's possible. Still no move from Tyler and Bailey. Big surprise for you there, Joe?
I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler goes to the last lap. As in, because they're so like very similar with race pace. I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler waits until the last 2 laps to make his move.
I don't know if he's just happy being in the DRS slipstream. He's saving. As we say that, sorry Joe, Tyler's up on the inside now of Bailey. Racing room has been left. Tyler's got the position now. So with 9 laps left to go, it's Phil's now in the pit, so this will be interesting to see where Phil comes out. Has Phil made that pit stop yet? No, he's just on box now. Jacob does the quickest lap to get himself that extra point. So, welcome to the Combox, Harry.
Hello.
Just talk us through how that car felt, mate, and yeah, talk us through how that felt for you to be racing in the main game.
Yeah, well, it could have gone better, not gonna lie. I was surprised with how much I held up at the start in terms of my pace on mediums in comparison to their pace on soft tyres. I was actually able to hold up for quite a while. But when I got that bad front wing damage at Carlsland, I came into the pits, kind of went down from there. Other than that though, all I can say is these guys are quick. They are just masterclass drivers.
So were you happy with your qualifying, mate? You qualified P11.
Yeah.
Are you happy with that considering the field that you're in? Or the field that you're wearing?
I was hoping for top 10, and I felt like it would have been possible, but I don't know, I just keep making mistakes, and that's kind of stuffed me up a little bit. But no, I was not disappointed with where I qualified, mid-pack in F1, so yeah, I'm happy with it.
So could we see you here in the near future?
Maybe in a couple seasons, mate.
Maybe. Well, there you have it, folks. We've got groundbreaking reports. Aaron's got around Sebastian to put the other racing point up to P6. One talking point here, me and Joe have been watching all races. Tyler's had pretty much a full battery all race following Bailey. But he's just had to burn a little bit now, and Bailey's start. Oh,
Bailey's out of the race!
No.
Oh my!
Is that a?
That has to. No, how is that a virtual?
That is.
Oh my!
That is intense.
Are you blocking the safety? Oh, that's not a.
Just jumped on board as that happened. That is a massive accident.
What do you put
no!
on? Josh would have got collected that.
Oh, Josh would have been out if there was no ghosting. That could have been a massive pile up.
That just goes to show what Baku can do. Anything can happen at this track. Sorry, I was just choking on something.
It moves Mackenzie into P3, but also he's got penalties, and Sam with his medium strategy.
A lot fresher tyres, yeah.
P4, so, and even Aaron as well.
Yeah, I was
He's
just
there.
about to say that.
He's
Aaron's right behind Sam on the softer compound, so I'm just speechless. That's 2 races in a row that Baku's bit Bailey, and it's taken a big chunk this season. Taken a very big chunk. As we'll jump on board Aaron here. Will he make a move in the turn 3? Oh, he's up on the inside. That looks very tight with the camera angles we get, but they leave each other good racing room. Is that another thing there, Harry? Are these guys, you know, as tight as the racing is, or it looks up here in the combox, are they pretty conservative with leaving each other room if they're side by side in a corner?
Yeah, one thing I've noticed is, exactly to your point, especially with the guys at the front, just from watching these races, they're so precise and really smart about giving each other room. Often in lower tiers, people either leave too much room or none at all, and that's when accidents happen. But these guys just seem to be able to get right up close to each other, like right up the gearboxes, but still keep their wings clean, and that is just something I admire. It's quite incredible to watch, especially in a track as tight as Baku.
Yeah, so I'll just throw it over to you guys. I'm going to invite Bailey here into the combox.
Will do.
And I'll throw it over to you guys.
It's stuffed up his line, but it's cost Sam to have to ease off a little bit. Down the DRS straight now. It's Sam as DRS. He's going to go for a move down the inside. Oh, he's gone conservative. He's holding behind Aaron. Following behind them very closely from a reasonable comeback is Sebastian Spicer in the Renault, as Aaron actually makes contact with the wall. Seb's tyres are very old. Seb's made contact with Sam, but I don't think Sam's lost out much from it.
I don't think Sebastian's got any damage either.
No,
looks like
Seb
the front
has
wings.
been very lucky.
Yeah. So we've just been joined here by Bailey. Talk us through that, mate. I've just jumped on board with you coming into the castle section. Talk us through that massive accident.
Not much to say, I guess. It's what it is.
Look, we'll talk to your high points. Pretty good first stint, mate. You were fighting with Tyler there until your accident. Have you got your form back?
Nah. The DNF doesn't put any form back. Just makes me, I don't know, just takes me out of it more. So I don't know. Gotta get something done right. I can't seem to do anything right at the moment. Last weekend it was trying to walk up the pit lane. Nothing's working at the moment, so I have to wait and see.
Alrighty, mate. I think we'll leave it there. You sound... I think it'll just be best to leave it there, mate, and we'll talk to you later on throughout the day, privately.
Sam's missed his breaking point.
Oh, he has two into turn two. So that's put him out. But now can Aaron close down? He's only got to close 2 tenths on Mackenzie to get that P3. So Mackenzie's got that 3-second time penalty from exceeding track limits.
He's going to be screaming at the end though. The same as Mackenzie.
Yeah, same as Mackenzie's halves, because he was the first to box. So Tyler now with a comfortable lead of 4.3 seconds off of Josh, and then Josh is another 18 seconds in front of Mackenzie. So I don't think there's going to be a change up the front two, but anything's possible. Andrew down in P12, he hasn't had the race that he would have wanted either. He'd just been caught in that bit of a racing incident between, I think it was Mackenzie and Jacob.
I think it was Jacob going down the inside on the first straight.
Yeah, turn 3 there.
They all locked
might have been
up,
a bit of contact, you think?
Yeah.
So now Jacob's right on the back of his teammate. Will there be any team orders later on? Jacob with the fresher tyres. Bailey's just left the session. Aaron has already caught up half a tenth on Mackenzie on these softer compound tyres, so yellow flag set to 1.
Oh, Mackenzie!
Mackenzie's gone deep. So Baku again bites another driver. There's no damage.
No.
There's no damage. So Aaron on the podium after starting what was 18th, I think. He's gone 15 spots, so 18th, yeah.
Be interesting if Sebastian lets Jacob through.
Through, yeah. Well, Sebastian has got that time penalty though too, so he can't. He's only 3 points through. Well, yeah, they're 3.3 in front of Addy behind them. So it could be tight for Sebastian to keep even P5 here. But I just want to get your two opinions there with that kind of interview, as Jacob gets Sebastian there, kind of interview with Bailey. It sounded like he was hurting quite a bit. What did you two take out of that?
Disappointment, I guess. I think he was just obviously his pace was very solid, in fact very good throughout most of all the race, and I think he's just disappointed that he's kind of stacked the mistake from China locking up into the pit lane, and to be hit by that right after, that's for a driver pretty disappointing, and you can tell in the tone of his voice that he's not very happy. But I guess he could use this kind of vengeance for victory to maybe come back even faster next week.
Joe, your opinion, mate?
I take it as he's disappointed, but he's the reigning champion in F1, so he's gonna be hurting. But it's still a very long season, and there's so many quick drivers in this in F1 that you could have, if he gets a couple of wins and some drivers don't do as well and erases us back in the title race. So I think the positives that he qualified pole and stuck with probably one of the contenders to win the championship. You have to take. He'll be hurting, but you have to take the positives that he has the pace to do that. So that's what I think.
Yeah. So another big talking point, boys. Still no safety car.
That's true.
There should have been at least for 2. I would say the Bailey one and I think Robin.
And Amar, was it Amar's on the back straight through the S's? Yeah. So Andrew's back in the pits now. He's going quickest lap. Putting the softs on. No chance of scoring points, so why not take it off of whoever's. I think Jacob's got it at the moment. If one of you just want to check that quickly. Aaron for driver of the day, Joe, coming on the reverse optimal strategy.
I think so.
Yeah, considering he started from right at the back, I would say it's between Aaron and the coverage drive from Sebastian's been very good as well. So I would say Aaron. Oh yeah, I would say Aaron for drive of the day.
Yep, and Harry, your vote?
Yeah, I'd say Aaron, or while not exactly gaining as many positions as Aaron by any means, but Seb to actually come back and hold P5 from the mistake he had at Castle. He dropped back quite a reasonable amount, and he's able to stay consistent and hold P5. But yeah, that's probably my second pick, Aaron, for the driver of the day.
Yeah, look, I'm going to have to go Aaron as well, but my second would be Addy in the Red Bull. He's on the same strategy as the front guys. Oh, he's just put cushion to the wall at turn 3.
Oh, no.
And that's put Phil in the wall.
This has to be a safety car.
Is this the safety car that we're expecting? There's not even a virtual at the moment.
Don't think they can bring it out on the last 3 laps.
Nah, second last lap, so just a localised yellow. But yeah, as I was saying, Addy qualified out, I think it was 13th, outside of the top 10, and he's...
Jacob's on Aaron, stay on now.
Oh, he is too. So has Aaron got a bit of damage? He's coming down there. Oh yeah.
Oh.
This could be a tight race here. Josh has lost a lot of ground. Josh has lost his front wing.
Oh, he has. Oh my gosh, he's going to have to go that entire last lap with no front wing.
He's got 14-second gap to do it. Todd just has a bit of a shows his car in the mirror of Aaron.
When did that happen?
I've just looked up and noticed that Josh had lost a lot of time to Tyler.
Do you think he did it, it's not the castle section, the massive...
that left-hander coming down the hill.
Yeah, the chicane bit, where you just...
Possibly. I feel like if he did that, though, he would have only lost the right side. He's lost the entire front wing.
Yeah, maybe he's had one wall and then hit another wall when that first... Because that quick S through the back straight without half a wing is very notorious to get a bit of understeer, and you lose that front left if you try and take it flat. So, yeah, maybe through there, but I'll jump to Tyler Beasley's. He's coming through that quick S as I was just speaking. Coming home to take his... what's this now? His second race win, isn't it? Andrew won at Bahrain.
Yep, would have been second.
Tyler at Australia, so he comes across the line to take his second race win of season 4, DNF at China, putting back in contention. Joshua Banks has lost a lot of time.
Toddy's got to run on Aaron, coming down to the straight.
What's this going to do? They're side by side.
He's going to take it!
He's going to take it! That is... Aaron will be absolutely devastated there by Aaron. To miss out by half a car length.
Then you got Mackenzie on Kush. Has Mackenzie got a puncher? Oh no, he wouldn't be going that fast.
Oh my god.
No, but Mackenzie's got no front wing either, so he's going the IndyCar route for no drag. But he's got that 3-second penalty, so it's not going to worry us anyway.
King Duo, I think, has got his first points in
I think he has, yes. Yes.
Considering it's decent performance considering he was in F2 with F3 last season with a bunch of people using assists. So.
Yeah, so I'll get who do we have? Josh and Jacob into the combox. I'll throw it over to you there, Joe or Harry.
there was an incident or two that helped him kind of bridge that gap, especially at the end there when Josh lost his front wing, but I think Tyler was long gone by then. Really well done by Tyler. Have you got anything to say, Joe?
Well, I think it's considering I think it's my second race commentating F1. I think it was Spain last season. It's been a very, very exciting race. Yeah, it's because even though we didn't have any safety cars, a lot of drama in it.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with that Bailey incident that we had a word with earlier on. But we'll go to our interviews. Mark, you can start with interviews.
Okay, so we'll go to Jacob first of all, mate. Great drive there to finish P3. Just talk us through your qualifying lap. Qualified 6th. Just talk us through that, mate.
Well, I posted that time on the second run, which I thought was, decent for a banker time, but then coming into the third run, going into the castle section, I was 3/10 up on my previous time, so it was looking like a good lap, but on the exit, I hit the wall, so that just ruined my lap completely. And then, yeah.
Would you put that down to a bit of dirty air? Because I saw there at the final run, you and Seb were running, you were just outside of any slipstream or any benefit, but could you put that down to dirty air coming off your teammate's car?
Nah, it was completely my fault.
Yep.
Nothing to do with the dirty air, I don't think.
Okay, and then your race mate, talk us through that. We'll get to the last lap in a second, but pretty clean, reasonably clean. You come in for a new front wing there on your hard stint.
Yeah, I hit the wall. I don't remember I hit the wall though.
Probably castle section, that's where most people seem to hit it.
No, turn 3 it was turn 3.
Oh, were you involved with Andrew's incident?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, so
I don't really know what's going to happen there, to be honest, but I was involved in it.
Okay, yep. Talk us through that last lap, mate. You're closing in on Aaron. Obviously, it was in your head to have that slipstream DRS down the main straight coming across the line.
Yeah, well, I was going to try and get him on the previous lap, but he got a way better run out of the last main corner.
Yep.
Last real corner than I did, and I couldn't get close to him, so I'm like, I'll just sit here for the whole lap and run and lean and none. And sure enough, it worked. I got a good exit, and then, got him on the line.
So, a great race from you, mate. Another podium position at this stage with a Stewart's inquiry pending.
Yeah.
So, hopefully you can take something away from Baku, mate, and we'll catch you next week for Spain. So we'll go to Mr. Joshua Banks, qualified P3. Just talk us through that, mate, quickly.
I was a little bit disappointed with my qualifying actually, because my last flying lap, I was around 3/10 down coming through the first sector, and then I managed to find all that time and improve by half a tenth coming up to the end of it, but invalidated the lap. But I reckon I could have gone a lot faster. Maybe could have got pole position if I was lucky.
Yep. So just talk us through first stint. Is running 1, 2, 3 nose to tail, and then you seem to drop off the pace just a little bit. Was that a strategy call, or did they seem to have you on older soft tyre pace?
I mean, I was locking the rear a little bit, but it wasn't too much. I think they were just a bit closer with some DRS than me, and I was just a little bit further back. So no, I didn't feel like I fell off too much off the front two, but so.
And then you come in, you had your pit stop with the other two, with Bailey, and come out fine there. Were you worried when Bailey had his accident? Were you worried about running into his car? Did that put a heart in your throat kind of moment?
Yeah, it definitely did. He dropped the right in front of me, and then he spun, and I was like, oh my god. if I run into this guy, I'm going to get screwed over. But luckily, ghosting helped me out. But yeah, luckily I ghosted through him. So yeah.
Well, as I see here on screen, you forgot to turn at ghosting off. So pretty fortunate there.
Everyone basically told me in our party chat to turn it on because we're going to need it, and luckily I did. Otherwise, I would have been out.
So a big talking point here from the Combox was that there was no safety cars. At least 2 incidents could have caused one. Were you surprised with that?
Yeah, my scary moment on the penultimate, just before the last lap, where I lost to my whole front wing, definitely made me a little bit scared about Aaron behind. Yeah, I actually was kind of surprised with no safety car with Bailey's incident, to be honest. But yeah, 2 VSCs. Yeah, I kind of thought those 2 VSCs should have been safety cars, honestly.
Yes. You didn't really have the pace to catch Tyler in the end, mate. He takes another race win, 2 out of 4. Can you see yourself fighting the way back for the championship?
Yeah, I reckon as soon as the... well, I feel like I'm getting into a little bit of a better groove than I was with the earlier races, but second half of the season is where I... like all the tracks I like the most and which I'm good at, so yeah, I reckon I could potentially get up there again, but we have to wait and find out.
Okay, so anything from the other 2 commentators here want to add?
No, don't think so. Joe?
Josh, with the broken front wing on the last lap, how did you feel? Because it was quite weird suddenly going to your car because it had like the whole front wing, and then suddenly next minute it was off.
Yeah, I was just losing a little bit of concentration because I was just cruising to the end, and then I was hit the wall for my rear, hit the inside wall, and then hit the outside wall. Got no front wing. Yeah, I was quite scared because I don't know if I was gonna lose a whole bunch of time to lose the P2. But yeah, I was definitely pretty scared on the last lap. But luckily they didn't catch me.
So I think we'll leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Tyler's still yet to get himself a microphone or a headset that he can come talk to us with. So we'll leave it there from Baku. Join us next week for Spain. Probably one of the worst racetracks on the calendar.
Yeah, I agree.
For racing anyway. Yeah. So join us next week for that. And all the other stuff we stream. I'm trying to organise another interview for Hui Yu. I will get that going again shortly. But I'm Mark Bratby, joined here with Joe Roberts and Harry, with Josh Banks on the podium. So we'll see you all next week for Spain Grand Prix.